Day 3 of practice is winding down here at the FLW Cup on Lake Ouachita. I have Brandon McMillan. Why do I keep screwing that up?
I don't know, man.
We're going
There's
with
two
it,
of
though.
us.
Big Mac. There, I'm going to shorten it up.
Big Mac, I
Your
like
brother's
it.
here this week. Really, couple things. First off, this is your 3rd straight FLW Cup appearance, so mad props there.
Thank you.
Second of all, you're also a new father, so congratulations.
Thank you on that. It's exciting.
I should assume that you're probably going to win because you have a kid, and usually there's like some mojo that goes with that. So I'll just put my money on you.
Well, that sounds good, but I wouldn't put that much on me.
Well, here's the thing. It's hot. We've heard a lot of guys complaining about, oh, the fishing's kind of tough and to be expected. But I mean, you're a Florida guy. Like, you're probably used to A, the conditions, and B, things getting a little tough on you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hot. It's definitely, you know, the weather's warm, but it's not terrible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the fishing's it's a typical August fishery. I've never been here. It's a pretty lake. It's gorgeous.
It is.
And it's got a ton of little bass. I mean, like, you know, 4 to 8 inches. So, you know, they got to have some biggins that live around here somewhere.
Right, something had to make those.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, there is a shallow bite here. You're kind of pretty good at catching fish up shallow. There's also some grass. We haven't really talked to anyone that's kind of looked at the grass and found anything worthwhile. Have you found anything in the grass?
I have fished a ton of grass, and we'll leave it at that. But
okay, I like it.
It's not everywhere, but if you look hard enough, you can find it, and it's pretty. It's it's tall green grass. It's pretty. It reminds me of Okeechobee a little bit.
Ooh, I like it.
But no, I mean it's definitely not fishing the greatest. But I will say that the deep guys are still out fishing deep 3 days into it, and the shallow guys are still out, you know, up shallow.
Yep.
So, you know, when you start seeing people, you know, cross paths and one's going in the pocket and I'm going to scan for brush piles or whatever they do here, that, you know, then you know it's really, really bad. And I don't think it's as bad as people are saying.
Well, I agree with that. Guys always sandbag a lot more than things will shake out to be. With 3 days down, 1 day left to practice now, what do you have left that you want to check off the list before we get this tournament started?
Nothing really. I mean, we've kind of been able, you know, since I started fishing the tour, you get 3 days. So you pretty much can find everything in the 3 days. You know, I'm going to go tomorrow because that's just the way I am. I'm going to go and put in a good day's work, but I really don't have anything left to, you know, go and check or do anything any different. I've pretty much burned about 45 to 50 gallons of gas every day running around and looking, and you know, it's, you know, like I said, I'm going to go tomorrow just because we got, you know, we got an extra day of practice, take advantage of it. But you know, it's not a very big lake. You can kind of run around. You can be from end to end in 15 minutes, it seems like. So, you know, it's a neat place though.
That's a good point about it. It's not very big. Have you looked at pretty much every nook and cranny of this pond so far, at least the general areas of the lake?
I have, yeah. I mean, like I said, I've burned a ton of gas this week just running. I didn't get a chance to pre-fish because my wife we had our baby like 2 weeks ago, and it was just, you know, and it was just so close that I didn't want to chance it coming up here before cutoff. But you know, I got a good you know, lay of the lake and how it lays out and stuff, and it's you know, like I said, it's not an overly, you know, massive, you know, body of water. So you can cover it good in 3 days, and then you can really fine tune it on the 4th day that we have now.
Oh, okay. I guess we talked to Jeff Gustafson last night on Facebook. He told us about the crew you guys got staying together this week. It's a whole bunch of you, the Johnstons, you and your brother, Gussie, Austin Felix, Matt Steffen, a whole bunch of guys. Give us a little insight to what's going on back at the house. Are a lot of guys singing the same tune of, it's kind of tough, I can get some bites? Is anyone like strutting around a little more than usual?
No, I mean, not necessarily. There's, you know, it seems like half the field staying at our house with us. But no, there's not one person that seems overly, you know, confident. It's just not that type of place. I mean, I'm sure there's 57 of us or whatever. I'm sure there's 2 or 3 guys that are on them that feel really good right now, and there may be one at the house, but he's got a heck of a poker face if he does.
Well, we haven't really done much of this week, but for the folks watching, getting ready to set their fantasy fishing teams if they haven't already, at least in your mind, maybe it's some of the guys staying at your house, maybe not. Who are like 3-4 guys that you think will do really well this week?
Man, I think my brother will, for one.
That kid seems to catch him.
Yeah, and he's just got the mentality that he'll just pick up and go do something crazy and catch it. And you know, I think having a little bit smaller of a playing field that we have this week, he can really move around and just wing it. And you know, a guy like that, Chris Johnson, you know, I mean, you know, I think he's a heck of a fisherman. I mean, he's proven it. You know, and he kind of excels in some of these tougher, you know, type of deals.
Yeah.
But you can't count out the deep guys. I mean, Cody Meyer's gonna catch him. I'm sure Thrift's gonna catch him. He's like Jared. He's gonna run around and hit 88 places and see what he can come up with. But you know, it's definitely not the easiest. So, you know, you got to have a couple deep guys, because like I said, there's still plenty of people out there idling around and doing what they do, and you know, and the bank guys still haven't, you know, left the bank. So, you know, it's gonna be interesting.
Well, I think we will leave it at that. Thanks for stopping by. Go find some air conditioning, man.
Thank you.
Go get
Appreciate
a cold drink.
That's right.
Well, we're keeping the shallow water train of thought rolling here. We got Brandon Cobb. Brandon, you have fished 3 Forest Wood Cups. You have finished in the top 10 3 times. Your first ever Forest Wood Cup was here on the beautiful shores of Lake Ouachita. You finished 3rd, I believe. So we're kind of going down memory lane this week, and I assume you'll probably also finish back in the top 10.
I don't know about that this week, but it's this lake definitely, when I put in the first day of practice, is kind of like, I feel like this lake kind of started my career. Like, it was the first time I really did well. But last time I had a lot of different things going. It's kind of one of those tournaments where everything fell into place. So it's a tough fishery, but I enjoy fishing here.
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw you last time, you know, throwing like a horny toad down the bank, a toad on a buzzbait. You fished a brush pile, you had some schooling fish. There was a lot of things going on. So compared to last time, how's it looking now?
To this time, I think it's a little bit tougher this time, but the main reason I think it's tougher is because, at least for me, the lack of schooling fish. I just haven't, like, I think probably half the fish I weighed last time were schooling fish, and I haven't seen it all, other than spots, little bitty spots. And I've heard the spots are bigger, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't think proof yet.
I don't think I've caught one over 14 inches yet. So and most of them are like 7 inches. So I haven't seen the big spots, and I haven't seen any largemouths hardly schooling. And last time, it wasn't really patternable necessarily, but I'd be throwing my frog down the bank, horny toad, whatever, burning down the bank, and all of a sudden an acre of them would come up behind me. I'd run out there and sometimes catch one, sometimes not, and I haven't seen it. So I don't know. To me, it feels like it's fishing a little earlier in the year. It's more dead summer than last time. It was hot, but we were starting to get kind of that fall bite, and I don't see it this time. I mean, I might have just missed the ballpark a little bit, but I'm just not seeing it.
Interesting. From talking to some locals, I haven't really looked at the water level like currently, but it sounds like we are a lot lower than we were the last time we were here in 15, water level wise. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I haven't. I went and fished one of the banks I fished last year just to kind of get an idea, and it did feel a little bit lower. And it's kind of hard to tell because to me, I felt like there was a lot more grass last time, so it looked a lot different. And I heard coming down here that the grass was better this year, and I don't know. I haven't. To me, there's some more grass in various areas, but the grass that is there is not, to me, it doesn't look as good as it did last time.
Okay.
So I don't know. I haven't seen any, at least.
Well, we know, you're pretty good at just kind of putting the trolling motor down and rolling along and just kind of fishing the moment, fishing in front of you. Have you spent some time looking around, like out deep this week?
I haven't. I've idled for maybe 30 minutes, and I'm not saying, I think a lot of fish, actually I'm not so sure this time it may not be 1 deep, because I think it's a lot tougher shallow than it was. But in my opinion, this is a tournament you're trying to win. I'm not worried about points, and I don't think I can win deep. I don't care how good they're biting deep. If they're on the bank, I might can win. But so I've kind of stuck to my strengths, not worried about points, and I've stayed shallow about the whole time. And it hadn't been good by any means. That's what I've been looking for.
Well, you said something interesting a little bit ago before we started this, that your practice here in 15 wasn't that great. You didn't catch that many fish. And is it kind of the same way this week? You haven't put many in the boat?
Yeah, I haven't. I've probably caught like 2 4 and 4. So I guess I've caught about 10 fish in 3 days. I've had a few that I could have caught that I missed or didn't set the hook on.
Sure.
But it really, I mean, a limit of bites is, I've barely been getting a limit of bites a day. It's been tough on me. And last time in 15, it was very similar. I mean, I think the area I ended up catching a lot of my fish in the tournament that year, I had 3 bites on in practice. It's like, well, I'll start there because I had 3. That's the only place I had 3, and I caught a lot of fish off of it. But I don't feel like I've found anything like that this time. That's just been real random. Catch one, go an hour, hour and a half, and get 1 bite.
Okay.
And it hadn't been good for me at all so far.
Well, 4 days on Ouachita seems like plenty of time to basically check out the whole body of water.
You can.
Do you have any water left to look at tomorrow with the final day of practice?
Yeah, there's maybe 5 miles of lake that I don't think, or 3 miles that I haven't fished any of it or really looked at it. So I'll probably go check it out tomorrow, look for some grass kind of down towards the dam. Haven't really spent too much time down there. And that's a lot what I fished last time. I was kind of just checking the whole lake because the way this place is, I don't think there's anywhere. It's a lot like our lakes at home. I don't think there's any part of the lake that's significantly better than any other part of the lake.
Okay.
It's just where you want to fish, and you have to pick an area and kind of grind it out there. And you may see a lot of the top 10 in one area, but I don't see it. I think it could potentially be in anywhere.
Okay. Well, before we let you go, give me some picks that you would have on your fantasy fishing team. I know you're staying with Shane LaHue. I know you're staying with Justin Atkins, who won this deal last year. Is there a chance we'll see a repeat? Maybe one of you other roommates will get a crack at winning the title?
I think Shane's due for a good one. This is his style of fishing out here. I think he had a lot of opportunities last time and didn't capitalize on them. I think Shane's definitely a good one to pick. And I think there's a pretty good deep bite. So some of your offshore fishermen like Lambert or Mark Rose, I mean, a lot of people are good deep. I think the deep bite will be a little bit better this time probably. And I'm not that great at finding it, but I think there's less fish shallow, so they gotta be. So that's kind of my theory, and there's not that many schooling, so they've got to still be schooled up deep. So I'd pick some deep picks. Randy Haynes could do well.
I think that's a fantastic option. Listen to Cobb, and you might want to make sure you have him on your team as well because dude's pretty good at catching bass. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Thank you.